Hello friends. Today we are gonna study about nutrition in plants and animals. So let's begin with our study. What is nutrition? Plants are the only organisms that can prepare food for themselves by using water, carbon dioxide and minerals. The raw materials are present in their body, in their surroundings. The nutrients enable living organisms to build their bodies, to, to grow, to repair damaged parts of their bodies, and provide the energy to carry out life processes. Nutrition is the mode of taking food by an organism and its utilization by the body. The mode of nutrition in which organisms make the food themselves from simple substances is called autotrophic nutrition. Auto means self and trophos means nourishment. Therefore, plants are called autotrophs. Animals and most other organisms take in food prepared by plants. They are called heterotrophs. So, in this paragraph, what is actually meant that uh, actually nutrition is a process in which any organism steals food or takes food of another organism. Means it takes food to grow itself and have food so that it can the damages of its body it can cure them. And there are two types of nutrition: heterotrophic nutrition and autotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is the nutrition in which there are plants which make their food by themselves by the presence of chlorophyll, and the method is called photosynthesis. And the uh, next type of nutrition is heterotrophic nutrition, in which uh, there are animals which there are plants which steal or take the food from any other organism. Now, what is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is a process used by plants and other organisms to convert light energy into chemical energy that, through cellular respiration, can later be released to fuel the organism's activities. In simpler words, photosynthesis is the process by which plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to create oxygen and energy in the form of sugar. So, what actually photosynthesis is: when the plant make its own food by the process of by taking in CO2 and water and also the sunlight, it makes its own food and releases oxygen and glucose. Now, what is chlorophyll? First used in 1819, the noun chlorophyll derives from the Greek word chloros, meaning pale green, and phylon, meaning a leaf. Plants use chlorophyll to trap energy from the sun. Chlorophyll is a green pigment found in the leaves and green stems of plants. Green pigment traps light energy from the sun, which is then used to combine carbon dioxide and water into sugar in the process of photosynthesis. So, what chlorophyll is actually? It is a green color pigment, which what happens is it captures all the sunlight and it is present in the leaves. That's why we see all the color of the leaves is always green. So how do plants get food in the absence of chlorophyll? Without chlorophyll in their tissues, they cannot make their own food. They live as parasites, stealing their food from other plant hosts, called heterotrophic nutrition. A plant with no chlorophyll means there is a plant that does not produce its own food via photosynthesis. The overall chemical processes behind photosynthesis involves a plant converting carbon dioxide and water into breathable oxygen, O2, and sugar, the last of which becomes the plant's energy source. they are called heterotrophs as they use heterotrophic nutrition. So, mushrooms are a good example of heterotrophic nutrition because they take away all the nutrients from the soil and they always grow nearby the plants. Now, we'll go on to heterotrophic nutrition. And there are four types of heterotrophic nutrition: saprophytic nutrition, insectivorous nutrition, parasitic nutrition, and symbiotic nutrition. So, saprophytes are living organisms that live and feed on dead and decaying organisms. They are considered extremely important in the soil biology. They break down the complex organic matter into simpler substances that are taken up by the plants for various metabolical activities. Thus, saprophytes play a significant role in this ecosystem. Fungi and a few bacteria are saprophytes. So, this plant, which you can see on the screen, is called the Indian pipe, and this is also a saprophyte. And what saprophytic nutrition is, in this nutrition what happens is, like the plant which is a saprophyte releases enzymes to its nearby locations to break down the complex organism to break down the complex nutrients of the dead and decaying organisms nearby it. Now next is parasitic nutrition. Parasitic nutrition is a type of nutrition in which all the organisms live on or inside the body of their host. Host is actually where they derive the food from, or the plant or the host plant is the actually it is the plant which they take the nutrients from. The organisms which obtains the food is called a parasite, and the organisms from whose body food is obtained is called the host parasite, usually harms the host. See, as I said, uh, the organism from whose body is obtained is called the host parasite. So in this nutrition what actually happens, like any other plant captures the host plant, and then it like any plant it takes all the nutrients from the stem of the plant because it has roots inside that it captures the plant completely, and thus it takes the nutrition, and sometimes also the host parasite is killed. Insectivorous plant. Insectivorous means insect eating. These plants derive most of their nutrition from the insects that they trap and consume. These plants grow in humid areas where plenty of sunlight and moisture is found. They are found in nitrogen deficient soil. That is why they trap and digest insects to absorb nutrients. Venus flytrap, pitcher plant, and cobra lily are some of the insectivorous plants names. They are often called carnivorous plants. So you will be very interested in this topic because these are like some plants you may have heard or not, like Venus flytrap and other plants. Actually, what they do is they have the means they grow in a nitrogen deficient soil, means the soil does not has enough nitrogen for the plants. So what happens is they trap all the other organisms, and other organisms have a rich quantity of nitrogen, so that's the way they live. Actually they have the green. Now you would notice that some of the plants have the green color. So why they trap the insects? Because of the nitrogen deficiency. See, they also do the chlorophyll, they also do the photosynthesis process, and also they kill insects. Venus flytrap is the best organism I can tell you. So next we come to symbiotic nutrition. Symbiosis is mutually beneficial association existing between two organisms, and both organisms derive benefit from each other without causing any harm to each other. Examples: leguminous plants show symbiotic nutrition mode. Alga and fungus live together. Fungus provides water and shelter to alga. So these are some lichens on the surface of the bark of trees. So what happens is, if any other organism comes on the roots of these plants, so what happens? The plants give shelter to these. Like if there is a plant in the nitrogen deficient soil, so what happens is, uh, there is there are many other type of fungus and alga which connect to the roots of the plant, and then they give all the nutrient, no nitrogen to the plant, and the plant also provides shelter to them. So this is called symbiosis or symbiotic nutrition. So in this way, no everyone is benefited and no one is harmed at all. Like we can see, lichens on the surface of the bark trees here are getting shelter, and the lichens are providing nutrients on the bark of to the trees. Next we come to respiration. Now it will be very shocked. You will be very shocked to hear that actually in the night, the all the plants do real respiration which we do. So what happens is, in the night there is no sunlight, nor there is no. Now what happens is, when there is no sunlight, there is no need of chlorophyll. So what happens is, they take oxygen, and then what happens that they release carbon dioxide. You will be shocked to hear they release carbon dioxide, and this is called cellular respiration. So the plants get energy in night by the process of respiration, in which glucose food prepared by them breaks down in presence of air to form carbon dioxide and water with release of energy. Now, two types of nutritions. There is a difference between two types of nutrition. Here are these differences. The In autotrophic nutrition, the mode of nutrition in which an organism makes its own food from the simple inorganic materials like carbon dioxide and water present in the surroundings with the help of sunlight. All green plants are present in this. Hydrotrophic nutrition, the mode of nutrition in which an organism cannot makes its own food from the simple inorganic materials like carbon dioxide and water present in the surroundings, and depends on other organisms for food. Are Examples are all non-green plants, but some are also green. We cannot. It is an exception to say that all non-green plants are in heterotrophic nutrition. Next, we come to photosynthesis versus respiration. In photosynthesis, food is made, but in respiration, food is broken down. And in photosynthesis, energy from sunlight stored in glucose, but in respiration, stored energy in glucose is released. In photosynthesis, CO2 is taken and O2 is given off. But in respiration, CO2 and H2O are given off and O2 is taken in. In the presence of photosynthesis, in the presence of all chlorophyll plants only. But respiration occurs in all living organisms. Photosynthesis, light is very needed. But in respiration, no light is needed, because respiration happens in plants night at night. So photosynthesis are done in chloroplasts, and the respiration is done in mitochondria. Thank you. Have the greatest day.